It's cold and it's raining today. I think I'm going to go in and make some potato soup and some sourdough cornbread. You can see here I moved my sourdough starter to a gallon jar. It's really bubbly and it smells so good. Okay, let's make some really good sourdough cornbread. Now, in my pan here, I've got 1.5 cups of cornmeal, 1/3 of a cup of sugar, and 1 teaspoon of salt. And I'm going to mix that together real good and get it combined. And here I've got a cup of really hot milk. And I'm going to pour that over the cornmeal and the sugar and the salt. And I'm just going to kind of stir it up just a little bit. And I'm going to let it sit. I'm just going to let this heated milk and cornmeal just set a little bit. Okay, now that's set a little bit, and it's cooled down just a little bit. I'm going to put 1.5 teaspoons of baking powder and 1.5 teaspoons of baking soda. I'm just going to stir that up. Now, if y'all notice, I don't have any flour in this because your sourdough starter has your flour in it. I've got 1/3 of a cup of melted shortening or melted lard. And stir that up good. Or it was 1/2 cup, not 1/3, it was 1/2 cup. Now this is my sourdough starter, and I'm going to put a whole cup of sourdough starter in here. And like I said, we didn't put flour like you would regular cornmeal. Cornbread. You'd put your cornmeal, then you would put your flour. But your sourdough starter has your flour in it because that's what you feed your starter. I've got 2 beaten eggs here. I'm going to put them in there. This makes a really, really moist. I want you to look at the bubbles. That starter it's just really, you see them? See the bubbles popping? It's really active. This makes a really moist cornbread. Now the thing about this is you're going to taste your sourdough starter in this cornbread, just like you would if you were making sourdough bread. You'd have that sourdough taste in it. So it's going to be the same deal with your cornbread. You're going to taste that sourdough starter, and it's really good. Now I've got a heated iron skillet that I had some grease that I warmed up in the oven. I always warm up my iron skillets before I put my cornbread in there. So I've got my oven heated to 400 degrees. You don't need your oven as hot for this because it takes a while to get the middle done of your cornbread. Now, I just took out my cornbread. It took about 25 minutes, and look at it. I love it when it's golden brown and crunchy on the edges. Okay, guys, here's my potato soup and my really moist golden brown sourdough cornbread. Y'all try it. I think you're really going to like it. It makes up a pretty pan of cornbread. and it's really good stuff. I hope you liked this recipe. If you did, give me a thumbs up. And y'all come back and say, God bless everybody.